Welcome back to Wrigley Field, and a great fundraiser this weekend being presented by Cubs Wives to benefit Cubs charities. Baskets filled with one-of-a-kind autographed memorabilia and items hand-picked by the players. That's a Ben Zobrist gift bag. You saw Chris Bryant's earlier. All kinds of goodies, and you can bid on these baskets. They're called Cubs Favorite Things baskets. If you come here to the game tomorrow, go to Gate F and see the Cubs Wives to put in a bid. If you cannot make it to the ballpark this weekend, you can go online, Cubs.com/auction. And I think we're going to get some really good bids. Chris Bryant has signed baseball. He's got a signed W flag. He's got one of his shoes in there. A softy bat and ball set. Express socks, Adidas compression arm sleeve. The compression sleeve, that's a popular item these days.
Gotta have the sleeve.
There's a $50 Bass Pro Shop gift card in Ben Zobrist's gift basket.
And I believe I saw a signed All-Star hat in the Zobrist basket as well.
Yeah.
A CD from his wife.
Joe Madden participating, David Ross, Kyle Schwarber, among many other Cubs. So again, online, Cubs.com/auction. Well, we don't see the Texas Rangers very often. These two teams have only matched up 12 times since 2002, and it was in mid-May when they got into a major brawl with the Toronto Blue Jays. Jose Bautista with a late slide on Rougned Odor, who cracked him in the jaw. Odor would end up serving a long suspension. Don't know if this fight really changed much for the Rangers. They haven't pitched particularly well since then. They've been dealing with a bunch of injuries. Their offense a little bit better here as of late. And again, they've got a healthy lead, 5.5 games in the American League West.
Yeah, their story very similar to the Cubs. They've been backsliding of late, but still with a comfortable lead and the odds-on favorite to win the American League. So, if you believe the odds makers, you're looking at a World Series preview here this weekend.
We will see. Interleague play resumes for the Cubs, who went 2-0 in Anaheim to start the season. First American League opponent since early April. We'll have the first pitch next. Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Cubs hosting the Texas Rangers. Big crowd on hand. A Friday matinee to kick off the second half. Kyle Hendricks is ready to work. We will get the Rangers starting lineup here in a second as Rougned Odor will stand in. Rangers have the best record in the American League. Cubs have a 7-game lead in the National League Central, and a strike called, fastball at 88.
Kyle anxious to get rolling. His last start came on July 4th against Cincinnati. He did work once out of the bullpen after that.
That is a ground ball into left. Odor around first. He's going to hold there. As Ben Zobrist out in left today. Got over there quickly. The rest of the Rangers Southwest starting lineup. They finished the first half 3-9 over their last dozen. Desmond coming up, the All-Star. Mazzara off to a great start to his Major League career. Beltre, surefire Hall of Famer. Prince Fielder's had a tough year. Ryan Rua is in left. Elvis Andrus is shortstop. Robinson Chirino spent a lot of time in the Cubs system, and the pitcher Martin Perez bats ninth. And here is Ian Desmond. And ball one. 71 degrees, a north wind at 10, so a little cool right now.
There's our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher Kyle Hendricks, 7 up, 6 down, a 2.55 ERA. Tough on both right and left-handed hitters. Fastball change, cutter curve. And he'll get you a lot of outs on the ground, and for that reason I was a little bit surprised that Odor didn't try to get to second base on that base hit to left. Good hustle by Zobrist, keeps a double play in order.
That one got away from Contreras, maybe a cross up.
It's a four-seam fastball. He's just late reacting to it. There goes the double play. Or at least the conventional ground ball double play.
Fastball on Contreras, 2-1 on Desmond. And what a first half he put up in his first year with the Rangers. Hit a .09 over his first 12 games. 354 in 77 games since. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Put himself in MVP conversation. He's a shortstop by trade. He signed with Texas on the final day of February to be an outfielder after turning down the Nationals qualifying offer. Sat out all winter waiting for a good offer and settled on a one-year deal for about half that qualifying offer.
His story very similar to Dexter Fowler, and like Dexter Fowler, he's going to get paid after this year. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year. He has had no issues making the transition to center field. He's got a big arm, and we saw that when he was at shortstop. He struggled defensively, mostly with errant throws while playing shortstop for the Nationals, but he's been good in center and very good in the batter's box.
He struggled in his walk year last year at 233 as he chops one up the middle. Baez will throw him out. Odor now at third.
Yeah, and you see Desmond there just cutting down his swing to advance the base runner as we check in with the Cubs defensively, brought to you by Cricket Wireless. So Ben Zobrist will slide out and play left field this afternoon. He's joined by Albert Almora Jr. and Jason Hayward in the outfield. Joe really likes the combination of Russell and Baez up the middle with Hendricks on the mound. Bryant's at third, Rizzo first, the All-Stars. Wilson Contreras is behind the plate.
There's Nomar Mazzara. He is the youngest position player in the majors currently, 21 years old. Left-handed batter, and he takes a strike. Infield back except for Bryant at third here in the first inning. Mazzara has been playing a lot of left field. Shin Soo Choo has had an injury-plagued season. He's dealing with a back issue currently. He's been on the DL twice already. So Mazzara moves over to right, and Ryan Rua getting the start in left. Hendricks, 26 years old. 8th round pick of the Rangers out of Dartmouth in 2011. Cubs got him at the trade deadline the following season. Third baseman Christian Villanueva also came over. And Ryan Dempster went the other way.
He's our big kid, big wide open stance.
Swing and a miss. And a changeup.
He's hit some tape measure home runs. Ian Desmond, the only member of the Texas Rangers who has ever faced Kyle Hendricks, so advantage Hendricks in that regard. 2 strikes, the infield creeps in.
2-2 with Adrian Beltre on deck. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. A dazzling changeup. Big strikeout for Hendricks.
Pitch he relies on heavily. It's one of the better changeups in the game, and there's why. Just a dandy execution of that pitch. Rarely does he make a mistake with it.
Laz Diaz is back at the plate. Chicago native John Tumpane at first. Corey Blazer at second, and the crew chief Jeff Nelson is at third. 2 down, runner at third. Here is Beltre. 19th major league season, and he takes a strike. 575 career doubles. The 0-1. Now 1 ball, 1 strike.
Beltre currently 50th on the all-time home run list. 1 behind Miguel Cabrera and Billy Williams.
425 career blasts. Close stance, and Beltre clubs one way foul to left. Signed a 2-year, $36 million extension in mid-April. So he is now signed through 2018. And
well, he's just a kid. What was he, 19 when he first came to the big leagues?
Yeah. Should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He held, and it's 2-2. Now, he had recently turned 19 when he debuted as a Dodger in 1998. Down by Contreras.
Hit 48 home runs for the Dodgers in 2004 at the age of 25. That was his last year in a Dodger uniform.
And we'll do it again.
A little late getting started there because of the Hendricks changeup. Have to respect the changeup. A little tardy on the fastball. So Hendricks not a hard thrower, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have a good fastball. The fastball off the changeup, effective weapon for Kyle.
He walked him. He had a base open, a couple in fact, and it will bring up Prince Fielder. Beltre always has fun at the ballpark. Here's Prince Fielder, 8th start at first. Normally see him DHing. He has 4 career 2-homer games in this ballpark, going back to his Brewer days. A real tough year, and he hits a ground ball that'll be picked up by Baez. He's got time, and he gets him, and that'll end the inning. So the Rangers threaten, they do not score, and the Cubs are coming up. And is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. If Ben Zobrist gets a hit, Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Let's get the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. You've got 3 All-Stars to lead it off: Zobrist, Bryant, and Rizzo. Contreras, Russell, another All-Star, and Hayward in the middle. Baez, Almora Jr., and Hendricks, 7 through 9.
Cricket Wireless presents the. Here's the lineup. How about the defense for the Rangers? How about Martin Perez? Let's go there.
You were down 0-2, but you fouled it off.
Yeah, staying in the count, staying alive. 7-5, 385 for the lefty.
Strike on Zobrist.
He'll go, max out at 96, but more like 91 to 93 with the fastball. 2 seamers with movement. A ground ball pitcher. He doesn't strike out many. Just a few more strikeouts than walks. As a matter of fact, his strikeout to walk ratio is the lowest in Major League Baseball.
One and 2 on Ben. First start this year in left. He had played 4 innings in left prior to today, but no starts. And a 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Change up?
Yeah, I believe so. Here's that Cricket Wireless defense. Rua, Desmond, Mazzara, left, center, right. Beltre. Only Brooks Robinson has played more games at third base all time than Beltre. Andrus, Odor up the middle. Prince Fielder's the first sacker. Trinos behind the plate for Perez. He likes that changeup. That's probably his best secondary pitch. He'll also throw a slider and a curve.
Ball 1 on Chris Bryant. First pitch swinging. He homered off Chris Sale in the All-Star game. He had been 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts in the regular season. That should set up a fun potential matchup here in a couple of weeks when the Cubs and White Sox match up. And Chris also changed his spikes 3 times in 4 innings.
Yeah, I noticed we were commenting on that at home. There's different footwear going on there. It's like the Oscars or something. His dad said, hey, be ready to hit that first pitch fastball. Like a good son, he complied. Father knows best.
Popular guy in San Diego since he played collegiately at the University of San Diego. This could be trouble, but Rua is on the scene. And yeah, not a lot of these Rangers are very familiar with this ballpark and with the wind conditions, playing like maybe April 15th, not July 15th. It could be a little tricky out there today.
It looked like Odor was on a collision course with Corey Blazer, the second base umpire, in pursuit of that pop-up.
Rangers will overshift to the right on the infield against Anthony Rizzo. Back-to-back 4-hit games Saturday and Sunday in Pittsburgh. At one point had 8 consecutive hits, 2 off the modern National League record. The Major League record, if you're wondering, consecutive hits is 12. He now leads the National League in OPS. He's the only guy over 1,000. 10.06 around base plus slugging. 1 for 2 in the All-Star game, and a really nice defensive play as well.
Wind has shifted direction about 4 times today already. The swirling thing, hard to tell exactly what it's doing. During BP, it looked like it was blowing out pretty good, at least toward right field, if not a helping wind. Perez likes to work inside on left-handed hitters.
Does there, and Rizzo way out in front.
So you see a lot of outcomes from Anthony when that happens. He's able to get the hands pulled in and turn on that inside pitch, so he does damage. He also gets hit by a lot of pitches. Deep
breath by the lefty. And A ground ball toward right. Backhanded play. Odor. And he gets it. Nicely done by Rougned Odor to end the inning. We are scoreless after 1. Presented by State Farm.
This Sunday, that's July 17th, Cubs and the Rangers get after it at 1:20 and up to the first 5,000 kids 13 and younger will receive Cubs family decals presented by Vanilla Baking Company. After the game, the first 1,000 kids 13 and younger will have the opportunity to run the bases, weather permitting. For more information, visit cubs.com/kids.
Great to have you with us to kick off the second half, and we'd like to welcome our viewers watching on Farmers Cooperative Telephone Company in Tama County, Iowa. And a big welcome to those watching on MLB Network, ESPN UK, and Rogers Sportsnet. Ryan Rua hits a ground ball to first. Rizzo will feed Hendricks at the bag. 1 pitch and 1 out.
3 outs on the ground so far for Hendricks. Doing what he do. Fastball, typically sinker, every now and then a 4-seamer, maybe a little cutter. And that changeup, a big weapon. The curveball, a lot of times he'll introduce a little bit later in the game, second or third time through the order. If it feels like guys are starting to sit on that changeup a little bit, and he'll go first pitch curveball to try to get strike 1.
Outside corner strike on Elvis Andrus. Pitch low and away. The Rangers are managed by Jeff Bannister. He was the American League Manager of the Year in his debut season last year, and as a result, got a year added to his contract. Rangers are the defending American League West champions. Spent 29 years in the Pirates organization, getting hired by the Rangers. All-star Addison Russell makes the play. 2 gone. Base coaches for the Rangers, Hector Ortiz at first. That is Spike Owen over at third. He is the interim third base coach. Tony Beasley has been away from the club being treated for cancer, and I guess he is here with the team in Chicago and is scheduled to have surgery in August. We hope Tony's doing all right. A strike on Robinson Chirinos, who spent a long time in the Cubs organization before being traded to the Rays in the Matt Garza deal. He made his major league debut playing for Joe Madden. Started his minor league career with the Cubs as an infielder. Well-placed sinker.
That's the thing about Hendricks. That's the frustrating thing for the hitters. They get into hitters' counts and they think, all right, I'm going to get something to swing at here. And more often than not, it's either a good changeup or a painted fastball on the corner at the knees. Take a look at our Menards pitch tracks there, and if you look at that thing all day long in a Hendricks start, very rarely is he going to be in the middle of that grid.
Swing and a miss. And the Rangers are done in the second. They go down 1-2-3, still scoreless. Blue Harbor Resort on the shores of Lake Michigan. Overnight packages include accommodations for 4 in a luxurious family fireplace suite, Lakeview, with 4 passes to Breaker Bay Water Park. Enter now at csnchicago.com/Blue Harbor. .121st pitch for every game in this series through Sunday. Mets come in for 3. Off day next Thursday. And Cubs will bus to Milwaukee to play the Brewers. Rookie Wilson Contreras takes a pitch in the dirt. We're underway here in the Cubs' second. Team Perez making his Wrigley Field debut. 6 feet, 200 pounds. Tommy John surgery 2 years ago. Signed to a club-friendly deal to 2013, the year after he made his major league debut.
A couple more options on that contract. Rotation has been banged up. Yu Darvish will come off the DL to make the start tomorrow. Derek Holland is on the 60-day DL, as is Colby Lewis.
Their starters limped into the break, as did the Cubs rotation. Contreras bounces. Beltre cut it off. And Elvis Andrus always had long conversations during the ball game on defense.
Just don't touch him on the head, right?
Right.
Beltre gets freaked out when people touch his head.
He just fired a strike to his pitcher from about 30 feet away. It looked like he was about 95 miles an hour. Addison Russell 0 for 2 in San Diego on Tuesday night. Starting shortstop for the NL. One to left. One hop the wall. Russell to second. He's got a double.
In a season of fits and starts for Addison Russell, he'll start to heat up and then kind of go into a little bit of a mini funk. He hasn't been consistent, but the last 2-3 weeks, a lot better contact. Timing always an issue for a hitter, and it looks like it's been good for Russell over the last 20 or so ball games. Even if the batting average, the numbers don't bear it out, just solid contact, driving the ball a little bit more.
Now Hayward, a nice final week of what had been a very tough first half offensively. Moved to the 6th spot, responded well, hit .357 last week. Takes one off the plate inside on a fastball.
When you look at the splits on Perez, he almost looks like a lefty specialist out of the bullpen. Left-handed batters hitting just 167 against him. 1 home run. Righties 291 with 10 long balls.
Odor will get Hayward. Russell at third, 2 outs. Javier Baez. Weird weather day, huh? You talked about the shifting wind, right now blowing straight in. At times the clouds have looked rather threatening. Lights are on. So far, so good.
There isn't any rain in the forecast, is there? I didn't see anything.
There's a slight chance of showers, but I think we're all right.
He got a little crazy with the eye black today.
Strike on Baez. So Baez has done a lot of damage against lefties. Overall, hitting .309 over his last 23 games. We get a chance here. I want to go back to Sunday, and the fielder's choice turned from third base. We got to the bottom of it, trying to figure out what Javi was trying to do here. He was trying to turn a triple play. Josh Bell, though, wasn't close enough to him, and the Cubs were unable to get 2. So we were wondering if he didn't know how many outs there were, if he was trying to get the out at second and then have Zobrist throw to third. No, he was trying to get 3.
Yeah, and the play there, third baseman are taught just go ahead and throw that ball to second base and start the around the horn double play, but he wanted a little bit more.
One, 2 is inside. I think you said it best. It's kind of the next level thinking that he has on the baseball field, and I guess there are times for that, and other times maybe just make the play.
It's hard to run, right? That's Joe says he never wants to get in the way of great. So do you rein a guy in and say, hey, just make the play, or do you give him freedom to try to do something spectacular in a situation like that? And I think it becomes learned for a young player. The more experience you have, the more you go through it. You go, okay, yeah, I tried that back in Pittsburgh. It didn't really work out well for me, so let's go ahead and make sure we get 2 here.
You just said, let's make sure we get 2, which is funny, isn't it? Usually it's make sure we get 1.
Yeah.
Full count on him, the 3-2, and we'll try it again. I think in the history of Major League Baseball, if a manager has ever had to say to a player, just make sure we get 2 on that one.
Make sure we get 2, yeah. I know normally we expect to get 3 here, but let's just make sure we get 2.
I guess the White Sox probably would say that. Turn what, 3 of them?
Yeah.
Already. Another 3-2. set for Baez. Here comes Russell, and it's 1-0 Cubs.
Well, he continues to inflict damage on left-handed pitching. This time it comes with 2 outs. And delivers the first run of the game. Nice swing by Baez. He gets his second half off to a good start.
Notches his 31st RBI. And here comes Albert Almora Jr. The Dexter Fowler update. He is with the club. Took batting practice today. He might end up back on another minor league rehab assignment early next week. We could possibly see him activated maybe next week in Milwaukee. And he's feeling good. Decided not to participate in the All-Star game. Just wants to make sure he doesn't risk re-aggravating the injury. 1-1. Albert, who got a big 2-run homer on Sunday, doubled as well as the Cubs grabbed it. It felt like a pretty important 1-run victory. They go into the break with a 7-game lead. Broken bat roller to Beltre, who will play to first, and the inning is over. Javier Baez with a 2-out RBI single, and it's 1-0 Cubs. Broadcasts live from the 2016 Blackhawks Convention. At 5, joined Pat Boyle for the opening ceremonies, followed at 6 by a special on-location edition of Sports Talk Live with David Kaplan. Blackhawks Convention coverage starts tonight at 5 on CSN Chicago. As we continue today, we want to send out our deepest condolences to the family of Loris McClineman. Loris was a facility engineer with the city of Mesa, Arizona, and assisted the Cubs during spring training for 20 years. So, sympathies go out to his family. That's going to be trouble, and Martin Perez has his first major league hit. The pitcher with a swinging bunt.
That's just gross.
He was 0 for 9 with 8 strikeouts in his major league career before that hit.
The value of contact, and Hendricks induces a lot of weak contact. This time it turns into a base hit.
And a leadoff single at that. Back to the top, and Odor, who started the game with a base hit, And ended up stranded at third. He leads their club, Odor, with 16 home runs.
Yeah, pretty powerful guy in the leadoff spot. He's driven in 46, so 16 home runs match his total from last year.
And he's got a lot of sock. You saw in our pregame coverage, he planted one right on the jaw of Jose Bautista and ended up serving a 7-game suspension for that fight against the Blue Jays. Baez, Russell can't turn it. Can only get one.
Yeah, tough double play with Odor going down the line. Gets a lot on that throw to Russell. Oh, there could be a reason to challenge that one, could there not?
On a slide?
Yeah. Where's the direct slide to the base? I mean, he didn't get a piece of Russell, so maybe that's
right. And just sat down.
Yeah, so I don't think he went out of his way to get him. He just looked ugly.
So here's my question as Desmond digs in about the Odor punch. Does intent matter as much as result?
I mean, like if he threw a haymaker and missed,
Does he
have a lesser?
I think he got 8 games. It was reduced to 7. Right. If he flails away and misses, does he get as many games?
That's a great question, and my guess would be he doesn't. He was penalized for being such a good pugilist.
Right.
See, and then the next time that happens, and it likely won't, whoever player B is there, he won't go in chin high and hands down. Yeah.
More of a philosophical discussion, but I would claim intent should matter more than result.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, with this disclaimer, if you seriously injure somebody, that matters too. Odor takes off, and he is out. Contreras nails it.
The Rangers like to run. Odor was 7 out of 9 prior to that attempt. And that's the first man caught with Kyle Hendricks on the mound this year. Base runners had been 10 for 10 against Kyle, but we've seen Contreras show off that arm in the past, and he gets his man this time with a little help from Javi Baez, who goes up high, and look how quickly he applies that tag. Great look.
2 outs in the inning. Here's Desmond. And by the way, I'm not saying Odor should have received fewer games than he got. What I'm saying is if a guy throws a punch and misses, maybe he should get as much as Odor got, because you're trying to inflict some harm even if you miss. Desmond walks.
Ooh, man, good looking pitch.
Second walk issued by Hendricks. And before Mazzara bats, Contreras will head out to the mound.
I don't think this is where Kyle wanted to throw this pitch. He tried to go down in a way, but
looked good.
It's in the zone. And I think it's the fact that Kyle does so much work down that a pitch like that up would fool an umpire. Just don't see many up there.
Mazzara rips in the air, shallow center. Almora's in. Russell will give way, and the inning is over. Single and a walk, but some help from his catcher with that cannon. 1-0.
1:20, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Jake Arrieta Cy Young Award bobblehead presented by Pepsi and the Brookfield Zoo. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
Hendricks getting some help from his catcher. First time a base stealer has been caught this year with Hendricks on the mound. 1 ball, 1 strike on him. Some roster moves today before the game. Clayton Richard is back in the bullpen. Off the disabled list, he and David Ross were added to the roster today. Ross off the 7-day concussion DL. Right-hander Trevor Cahill goes to the disabled list with right knee patellar tendonitis, and Munenori Kawasaki optioned back to AAA Iowa. Also, Joel Peralta has cleared waivers. He has elected free agency. Richard had a blister on his left middle finger. Popped up by Hendricks. Foul territory. Fielder and Chirinos are over, and it'll be Fielder. Kind of ironic that Fielder has been a DH. He should have the glove on, shouldn't he? That name? Fielder?
Yeah, should be. I would agree. Today's CSN Bar of the Game, presented by Coors Light, is Jameson's Pub. To see the complete list of the CSN Bars of the Game, presented by Coors Light, visit csnchicago.com.
Zobrist, ball 1.
First interleague series in this ballpark this year. Second interleague series for the Cubs. They opened the season out in Anaheim.
Yeah, kind of weird, right? You play your first 2 games against the other league, and this is the first time the Cubs have played an American League team since then.
Who's winning the interleague battle this year?
Well,
taking a look, I haven't paid attention to that.
The American League won the All-Star game again. We know that. Zobrist walks.
And as is the case every year, the debate about whether the All-Star game should quote-unquote matter took place again in San Diego.
I got the answer to your question. The American League 97 and 83 going into play today, according to Baseball Reference. And on 1 out. And the pitch to Chris Bryant is hit in the air to right. And Mazara's got it. So the 11th time in the last 14 years the American League wins the All-Star game. 4-2 the final. Eric Hosmer is the MVP. The World Series team with home field advantage has won 6 of 7 and 24 of the last 30 World Series. And the other cool thing to come out of the festivities in San Diego is the league's batting titles are now named after Rod Carew in the American League and Tony Gwynn in the NL. I like it. Rolled foul by Rizzo. Right to Fielder, and he'll step on first, and that'll end the inning. 3 in the books. Cubs 1, Rangers nothing.
teachers. The Cubs are welcoming teachers and their families for the 6th annual Teacher Appreciation Night. It'll happen on Tuesday, August 2nd. The Cubs are offering specially priced tickets to all teachers and their family members as the Cubs host the Marlins. All participants will receive a commemorative canvas bag. For more information, visit Cubs.com/special groups.
Big crowd here at the ballpark today. Adam Warren is in the bullpen. Still could make another spot start down the road, but not on this homestand. Hendricks will make his next start on Wednesday against the Mets. Hamill tomorrow, Lackey Sunday, Lester, Arrieta, Hendricks in the Mets series. Ground ball up the middle, gobbled up by Addison Russell behind second, and Beltre is out.
Silky smooth as Addison Russell glides across that infield, keeps the glove low. Some glide, gathers himself. Good, strong, accurate throw. Boy, that's strong up the middle defense. Contreras' arm behind the plate. Russell and Baez second and short, and Almora out in center.
Strikeout fielder. It's been a tough go. On June 3rd, he was hitting under 190. He's bounced back a little bit. But among the 167 Major League qualifiers, in terms of OPS, he ranks 158. And by the way, Jason Hayward at 154th. So both guys looking to finish strong after rough starts. He was the comeback player of the year in the American League last year. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Texas got him a couple of years ago from Detroit, 2 years into a 9-year contract. Played 42 games early in 2014. Neck surgery ended his season in May, and he just got hit by a pitch. He had played at one time in 547 consecutive games.
So under contract through 2020 for $24 million per. Rangers hoping you can find a way to get things turned around. It's not uncommon for a player to go into a pretty steep decline in their early 30s. Guys with his resume normally don't, but it happens.
Rua takes high for ball one, even though Pitch Tracks liked it. Rua, Amherst, Ohio native, went to Lake Erie College. 26 years old.
Puts it on the ground a lot. That's what Hendricks is fishing for here.
Oh, the count.
Mentioned earlier that Hendricks throws very few pitches in the middle of that Pitch Tracks grid. Well, this would be an exception here on 3-0 to Rua. You would expect him to be very aggressive. There you go. Some confusion in the count.
Well, I think that first pitch, Kyle thought might have been a strike. And it was called ball one. That's one way to kind of make your point, right? later in the count. Yeah. What's the count again?
You sure you don't want to rethink that?
Three-two.
Such a smart pitcher. Gets back into the count, that 3-0 fastball, then a little more discerning with the next one, and then 3-2 off the outside edges. He's got him in swing mode.
Psychology of the count affecting hitters. Very interesting. Brewer took the first 3 for balls. He drives this one out toward right center. Almora's got it. That'll send Fielder back to first.
Well, there's that strength up the middle again. Most of the work being done by the infield today, but a spectacular play by Almora Jr. You'll see him break here towards right center field and then leave his feet to take away extra bases. Maybe didn't have to leave his feet, but it sure was pretty.
He's addressed that before. You know, he's made a couple of leaping grabs on the warning track. It looked like he might not have had to. He said, just trying to make the catch, not trying to be flashy. And a big play there. That keeps Fielder at first, 2 outs. Andrus came in at 294.
Down near the bottom of the order here today, Andrus, but he'll take his walks, hitting for a high average. Doesn't strike out much. On base percentage just below 350, so that's the top of the order skill set.
Hendricks off the mound to end the inning. Albert Almora Jr. helping out. Took away a gapper from Ryan Rua. Still 1-0 Cubs. Fundraiser here at the ballpark. It's called the Cubs Favorite Things Baskets. Each player has his own basket and a lot of fun items. You have a chance to bid on those items. You can come to Gate F at the ballpark before the game tomorrow, or early on in the ball game, or bid online, Cubs.com/auction. That's Ben Zobrist's basket. And we have Chris Bryant's basket here. What do you have there?
A really big shoe right here.
And that is signed by Chris.
Chris Bryant.
Batting gloves.
Golf glove. He likes to golf.
You've got some Red Bull.
Yeah.
You need to wake up.
Take BP in your living room with a little bat and ball set.
I like this. You got the monster headphones. So yeah, W flag.
Yeah.
Socks.
Hey, who to give me 10? Give me 10. Who give me 10? Got 10.
So again, Cubs.com/auction.
There we go.
Benefit Cubs charities. Contreras sharply hit grounder. Shortstop Andrews. We'll bring up Addison Russell, who doubled in the second. Scored on the Baez 2-out single. That's low, 4-1. Line and caught. That ball cradled right in the midsection by Beltre.
Now another real good swing by Russell. I really think he's going to have a big second half. Bullet right to the future Hall of Famer. 4-time Gold Glove winner is Beltre.
Two up, two down. Here's Hayward. Well, it wasn't the first trade made this season, but coming out of the All-Star break kind of signals maybe things heating up a little bit. The Red Sox getting All-Star lefty Drew Pomeranz from the Padres for an 18-year-old right-hander, Anderson Espinoza. A prospect a lot of people like a lot.
I believe I saw somebody had him as the 4th best prospect in the Red Sox organization. The Red Sox 2 games behind Baltimore in the American League East right now. Score a ton of runs. The pitching has really had their struggles.
It's the 4th trade in about a week Dave Dombrowski has made. Hayward in the air to deep left. And Rua on the warning track makes the catch. That'll end the inning. Cubs go down in order, although a couple of balls hit really hard. It is 1-0 after 4. all season long on CSN. Chicago.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich, serving the community for 38 years. Go to jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. American League wild card standings. Red Sox and Blue Jays would be in if the season ended today, which it does not. So the Astros, Tigers, White Sox very much in the mix. Rangers with a 5.5 game advantage over Houston in the West.
He's all hat and no cattle.
I'm not even going to ask you to explain that. By the way, the Rangers are 9-1 against the Astros this year.
That's been going on for a while now.
Yep.
Rangers dominance over the Astros.
1-1 on the catcher, Chirinos. Got hurt early, missed a couple of months with a fractured right forearm hit by a pitch.
Swings and misses a lot, but he does have some power. He's hit 6 home runs this year, .486 slugging percentage, 74 at bats.
Two and two on them. Cubs starters finished the first half with 10 consecutive non-quality starts. Just so happened to be the first 10 games in July. That's an 8.81 ERA. The team went 2-8. The Rangers last 9 games into the break, no starter went more than 5 innings. It was a tough go for these two clubs. Rizzo diving stop. Hendricks at first. There's time. They got him. Nicely done.
Yeah, heck of a play by Rizzo. Key there, he doesn't panic. He gathers himself, makes a good, strong, accurate throw. Right on the money to Hendricks.
Well, defense definitely a part of the story today. Catch by Almora in the 4th inning. Contreras with that big caught stealing in the 3rd. Rizzo and Hendricks teaming up here in the 5th. Perez singled an infield hit, first major league hit in the 3rd. Another major league note that caught my eye today. Shelby Miller has been demoted to AAA. Russell makes the play.
The time now for the greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Yeah, Shelby Miller demoted. Ugly go for him. Red Sox at Yankees tonight. We knew that rivalry. Madison Bumgarner and the Giants will visit San Diego. Giants now with the best record in baseball. And 14 teams in the wild card hunt, 5.5 or less back. So it shapes up to be a very dramatic second half, does it not?
It does. We'll see the Mets on Monday here at Wrigley Field. So Shelby Miller to the minors. Zach Greinke is currently on the disabled list. And it's no wonder the Diamondbacks right now are in last in the National League West. Odor, left center, caught by Almora, inning over. Kyle Hendricks cruising along through 5. He leads 1-0. Cubs batting in the 5th, already leading 1-0. Guy who gave them the lead, Javier Baez, will lead it off.
And just 4 hits in the game, 2 aside. The Cubs' 2 hits came in that second. A Russell double, Baez single.
And he's out. Chirinos pounced on it.
July 20th, sit ringside with Joe Madden and Cub players and enjoy amateur boxing for a great cause. Wear your suit, wear your sneakers, enjoy premium food and liquor, scotch tastings, and bid on great auction items. Held downtown in the historic Wintrust Bank building, this is sure to be a fun night for all. For details and to buy tickets, visit Cubs.com/Madden.
Chatting with his starting pitcher. He's now on deck. A strike to Almora. Belated birthday wishes. Number 71, Richard Burke, Cub fan in Clearwater, Florida. One hit hard and foul.
Yeah, and Herb and Molly DeShays. My dad and my daughter share a birthday over the break on the 13th.
My dad yesterday had a birthday. Birthday to Joe Casper. George Thatcher turned 100 on July 9th. That was on Saturday. Beltre booted it.
Just the 4th error committed by Beltre this year. We'll turn to look at the replay on the big video board to see exactly what awry there.
That will bring up the pitcher Hendricks. A nice note from Marilyn Flores. It was good to hear from Marilyn. So birthday wishes go out to Sarah Louisa. Bunt or not to bunt? Always a question. In this spot, for most National League teams, it's always 99% of the time here would be yes, pitcher bunts. Not always the case with the Cubs, especially early in the count.
Yeah, they're going to throw over again here. One to chase Almora back, and 2 to see if Hendricks will tip his hand as to whether he's actually going to put down a bunt. Watch to see if he starts to slide that hand up the bat.
Big rip at a high pitch. Fouled it away.
And that's what you're looking for there if you're Joe Madden. You don't want him feeling for the ball, hitting it in a little inning-ending double play. If you're going to turn you loose, go ahead and try to drive one into the outfield. If that doesn't pan out, then maybe we'll go down to sacrifice.
There's the bunt by Hendricks. 2-3 as he gets Almora to second.
Yeah, and that's good execution here by Hendricks. Don't have to be fine in this situation. Then out in front of home plate, get it out there away from the catcher a little bit where he has to travel some to make the play.
Zobrist with 2 outs.
Perez staying in character. He's only struck out 1.
Foul strike. It's 0-2.
Came into the start having struck out 11% of batters faced. It's very low for a major league starting pitcher. And he's walked 10%. So it's one thing if you're not going to strike a lot of people out. If you're a pitch to contact guy, to have success, you would anticipate a very low walk rate. That hasn't been the case with Perez. Despite that, he's got a winning record and a 3.85 ERA in the American League, especially in his home ballpark, is pretty darn good.
Compared to Ron Guidry on the time he signed with Texas out of Venezuela, 2007. Somebody gave him the nickname the Venezuelan Gator. Yank foul to left. You see a little Guidry?
Well, I don't. I'll watch more closely.
Guanare, Venezuela, where his mom, not his dad, got him into baseball. The team was 9 years old.
Guanare Lightning. Guidry had that power slider, that back foot slider.
1-2. Mentioned it. Yu Darvish is back tomorrow. Tommy John surgery, came back. Need 3 starts and then went to the DL with a shoulder issue. Backhanded play, Andrews, and he gets Zobrist to end the inning. We go to the 6th. 1-0 Cubs.
Cubs MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Hey, we were rattling off birthdays earlier. Mike Shannon, 77 today.
Happy birthday to Voice of the Cardinals, Tom Otis Hellman, celebrating a birthday today.
Otis, really? Oh, man.
Phillips fine clubhouse manager.
I would have bought you a cake, Otis, had I known.
Really? Desmond grounds out to Russell.
I would have gotten some from Marie Antoinette last night. At the dinner, it was Bastille Day yesterday.
Right.
And I didn't know that anybody really celebrated Bastille Day, but we went to this bistro, and sure enough, the French flags hanging all over, and this lady was dressed up like Marie Antoinette, passing out pieces of cake.
There's Mazzara. Ball one. Overcast all day, but we've remained dry. That is a strike. 1-1.
A little more ripple in the flags now than there was earlier. According to Baseball Reference, Mazzara's nickname is the Big Chill. He's big, 6'4", 215, and long and strong.
Deep and playable on the track. Almora.
No signs of rustiness at all for Hendricks, despite the long delay between starts. Heavily on that fastball changeup combination. So I mentioned earlier that Adrian Beltre is number 2 on the all-time games played list at third base behind Rich Robinson. Do you care to hazard a guess at numbers 3, 4, and 5?
Third base.
All modern era players.
Brett Schmidt?
No. Neither one of those guys. I mean, they're probably just, I'm assuming they're somewhere between 5 and 10 on that list.
Okay. Think about it.
One of them wore a Cubs uniform.
Ron Santo?
No, sir.
Aramis Ramirez?
No, sir.
Lined into center. Rangers now out hitting the Cubs 3-2. Am I going to kick myself? Going, of course.
Well, all the guesses you've made are legitimate guesses, right? So
games played at third base.
It was not Ron Say. I came from the truck.
That's a strike on Fielder. The other 3 are not active. Right? Modern.
Correct. Yeah, these guys would have played in the 80s, 90s,
Matt Williams,
70s for one of them.
Wow. You're locking me up?
One of these gentlemen, number 5 on the list, enjoyed a nice piece of chicken.
Oh, Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs.
Okay, I was thinking of Wade Boggs. Didn't mention it. And he was number 5. Okay.
Number 4 played for the Cubs. You don't think of him primarily
Chipper
as a
Jones?
Cub. No.
Okay.
You might think Rodent.
Swing and a miss. Gary Gaetti.
Gary Gaetti, number 4. Greg Nettles, number 3.
Okay. Wow. That's a good question.
I know.
I like it. Chicago.com presented by State Farm. Kyle Hendricks dealing today. Martin Perez has been very good as well in his Wrigley Field debut. Bryant Rizzo Contreras here in the bottom of the 6th. The lefty deals. 1-1 on Chris Bryant. He's applied to left and to right. Ranger outfielders playing very deep, even with the wind blowing in. That ball will land in front of Ryan Rua. Leadoff single. Leadoff man aboard for the first time today.
Well, middle of the order getting their 3rd look at Perez. See if they can do a little damage here. Guys have been very efficient. Just 68 pitches made to this point.
Time called. Rangers made a move today in terms of their 25-man roster as well. To that here in a moment. Strike on Rizzo. Right-hander Keone Kela activated, reinstated from the 60-day disabled list. To make room for him, they placed lefty Jake Diekman on the DL. He has a lacerated left index finger. Apparently the injury occurred as Rizzo sends one high and deep to right. Back toward the wall. Off the wall. Bryant on his way to 3rd. Rizzo's got a double, and the Cubs have runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. The wind was the only reason that ball wasn't a 2-run homer.
First 2 times up, outs on the ground. This time Anthony gets the ball airborne. Mazzara out there dealing with the basket, leaves his feet. He was in position to make a play on that ball. He got a little bit lost as to where he was. See Brian reading it, and then once he sees it down, off he goes.
A chance to tack on here. Contreras at the plate. And Rizzo now with a 10-game hitting streak. Back up the middle. Fielder in on the grass. And ball 1. Yeah, Jay Diekman apparently went to Cheers in Boston and got a glass Cheers mug of some kind and had it in his bag or whatever and reached in. It had chipped and he cut his finger on the glass. And he's on the DL.
Never reach with your pitching hand.
Right. Now, is that easier said than done?
Yes, of course. And he's been a big part of their bullpen. You remember him with the Phillies. He's nasty, especially against left-handed hitters. Well, just a little something. Just nudge one out there to the middle of the diamond and to get a very important run home. We might have higher aspirations now that it's 3-1.
There it is. He walked into loaded.
Fred's a little defensive there, understandably so at this stage of the ball game. The way Hendricks is going along, he knows a couple runs could really spell the end of his day. There's Doug Brocail, the pitching coach, out to have a chat. Brocail's been in the game a long time. He and Jeff Bannister, the manager of the Rangers, they met in 1987 when they were both playing A-ball during a brawl on the field. And the story goes, they're both big, strong, high-energy guys, and the Bannister in that little brawl put a pretty good punch on Brocail. Really don't want to mess with either one of those guys.
Right-hander Tony Barnett up in the Ranger bullpen. So Russell with the bases loaded and nobody out. Cubs already lead by a run. Perez will go from the wind and the pitch.
And Russell seeing it well today. He's hit the ball very hard both times up. One out double in the second, then a rocket for an out to Beltre last time in the fourth.
To third. Kick the pitch. Off the outside. 2-1. You can just see it in his face. He is just pressing for every inch here. Trying to get every call he can and get out of this tough spot. You see working the edges. Ground ball, base hit. Bryant will score. Rizzo around third. He's in. The throw goes to third. Everybody safe. Cubs lead 3-0.
Have a day, Addison Russell. 3 good plate appearances. This time right back through the middle to plate 2. Addison Russell, for whatever reason, far better at home this year. Got a 901 OPS at Wrigley this year, 595 on the road.
First and third, nobody out. Goes to first. Single, double, walk, single. 2 runs in. Carl Edwards Jr. is up. The former member of the Rangers farm system.
Yeah, Joe, I'm sure in no hurry to get Kyle Hendricks out of this ball game the way he's performing, but if there's an opportunity here to add on when if Hendricks' spot comes up here in this inning, he may go for it. Get a fully loaded and fresh bullpen.
Inside on Hayward. And the professor sits and watches. A 3-0 lead here in the 6th. Needs to walk that one off.
Kyle probably doing some computing there. So I now have a 96.7% chance of winning this ball game.
Right-handed batter on deck. This might be it for Perez facing the lefty Hayward, and a chopper to first. Fielder has Contreras caught up. Bad throw! And it went out of play. 4-0.
Tough to make Yankett throw with the moving feet. Contreras does a nice job slamming on the brakes here and going into disco mode.
Fielder's choice and an error on Fielder. And again, has not played a lot of first base this year, mostly as a Texas designated hitter. So 4-0 infield in, second and third. Still nobody out. And a strike.
Which way am I going?
Comes the 0-1. It's in off the plate. 2-1.
Had been very efficient, working awfully hard here in the 6th. You might expect, really slowing things down as well.
It's a sign from Chirinos. Ground ball to third. Beltre will make the play. Runners holding. Comes Almora. Kyle Hendricks at 87 pitches through 6. Matt Caesar has jumped into the on-deck circle for Kyle. We'll see if it gets to that spot. The assumption is it will. We're only 1 out in the inning. Hendricks will be done after 6. Fly ball, center field, not deep. Desmond is in, and the runners will hold. And a good throw by Desmond. Good choice by Gary Jones and Addison Russell to hold at third. And here is Caesar for Hendricks.
Yeah, 2 big outs recorded by Perez here. Keeping this a manageable situation for the Rangers, and now big opportunity for Caesar to pick up his teammates.
Rested bullpen will be up to them the rest of the way. So Kyle's ERA down to 2.41. In 6th in the major leagues in earned run average. And Caesar, base hit, 2 more will score. Russell, Hayward, 6-0.
Yep, that's picking up your teammates right there off the bench. Caesar wastes no time. First pitch he sees, pings it right back through the middle of the diamond. Bannister maybe waited a hit or 2 long.
Well, that's it for the starter. Cubs have put up 5 here to take a 6-0 lead in the 6th, and we'll be right back.
Club is the perfect gift for parents of tiny cubs to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo of the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, baby stocking cap and unique Cub onesie. Visit Cubs.com/kids for more information.
It is time for the Weber sauces and seasonings call to the pen. Call grilling flavor up to the bigs. Right-hander Tony Barnett. Zobrist hits left-handed against the righty Barnett, who was born in Anchorage, Alaska. High school in Auburn, Washington. Product of Arizona State.
The last 6 years in Japan. Originally drafted and signed by the Diamondbacks in '06.
Central Arizona College, then ASU. 1-1 is a strike. '36th Major League appearance, all this year.
Fastball, curve, cutter, and a split.
The ball on that back hip. Well, number 43 with the long, dark hair. Dennis Eckersley.
Got a little Eck going on. Yeah, absolutely.
Full count, 3-2. Big sixth inning. Cubs have played it 5. Action pitch. Caesar takes off. Zobrist takes ball 4.
So everybody's had a turn to bat in this inning. Comes Bryant for the second time. And that trying to get Zobrist to chase that off-speed pitch down. That's usually a losing proposition. It doesn't go out of the zone very much.
Leadoff single for Bryant earlier this inning. Deep drive to center. Wynn's going to knock it down. Desmond makes the grab. Cubs put 10 to the plate, and half of them score. It's 6-0 as we go to the 7th. go into the bullpen. It is right-hander Carl Edwards Jr.
A small sample so far, but good work for Carl. He's pitched to a 169 ERA, 10 2/3 innings. He's allowed just 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 12.
48th round pick of the Rangers in 2011. Made his major league debut last year with the Cubs. And we have a special guest in the booth. It's Harry. Hi, Harry.
Well, all right, this is great to be here. I'm up here with Len and Jim. I mean, does it get any better than this at Wrigley Field? First game back after the All-Star break?
It does not.
Good to have you, Harry.
Oh, it's so great to be here, Jim. I just was over talking to Pat and Rod Coomer. What a hoot those guys are. I'll tell you what. I don't know what they're called. It sounds like a horse race or something over there.
Here is Ryan Rua. And a strike, 96 from Edwards. So Kyle Hendricks got the start today. Harry, he was traded once for Ryan Dempster. What do you think of that deal?
Smart move. I mean, get rid of an old aging pitcher for a guy who can finally help your team. It seems like it makes sense. If you ask me, I don't know how much of a genius that Epstein cat is.
1-1 to count. Yeah, swing and a miss.
He should throw that pitch again.
Why's that?
Well, because he swung and missed, Jim. If he just does that every time, they won't get any hits and nobody will get on base.
Here's a 1-2. He did. Good call, Harry.
Well, you know, I don't listen. The game's easy from up in the booth. I get that. But sometimes you just got to do what we say, lad. You know that.
You're right. You're right. I like the glasses, by the way.
Thanks. These are my non-prescription. So if I get the names wrong, don't hold it against me.
There's Andrews. Oh, we say that backwards?
Oh, Andrews said backwards is Cernina. I just love his first name, Elvis. I remember Dutchie and I sitting around, you know, drinking a little toasty drink after dinner, listening to Elvis for hours on end, dancing in our living room together. So many good memories.
Spent a little time with Elvis, did you not? Did you?
A few nights, you know, those ones we don't like to talk about, Jim. You know, sometimes what happens on tour with Elvis stays on tour with Elvis.
2-1. Chirino's on deck.
Well, Harry, I assume you're going to sing today.
I tell you what, I am so excited to be back here to be able to sing the 7th inning stretch. It has been too long. It's my favorite song, and I'm just over the moon that you guys would ask me to come in the booth, spend a little time, and sing an amazing song with the fans.
3-2. Bob on Twitter. You know what Twitter is, Harry?
I have no idea. Twitter, that's got to be something a bird does.
Well, Bob on Twitter asked if you could have a little bit of a louder sport coat today.
Well, you know, I mean, if Bob on Twitter, that's a great catch, by the way. If Bob on Twitter would just look at my pants, then I could get over the fact. Look at those, Bob. See, sometimes the party's upstairs and sometimes the party's down below. And today I'm going loud pants with a nice crisp sport coat. I'm on that Atkins diet, which has been incredible, by the way. You just eat a ton of meat and steaks and ribs and all kinds of stuff. It's coated in cheese. Absolutely just the way to go.
Here's the catcher, Chirinos. Strike one.
You could have a steak chorinos. You're allowed anything with meat. It's incredible. Of course, I do got to admit I cheat every once in a while with an ice cold bud.
Of course you do. There's the 0-1. Outside, 96 with that cutting action.
These scoreboards look amazing.
They do. Now don't get nervous, but when you sing, they're going to put you also up on the board.
On that board right there.
Yes.
Oh, man. Please put a shade over that thing. Nobody wants to see this bug, I promise you that.
Swing and a miss.
I've known Chris Bryant and express that, if I could say that. That holds true. What a handsome young kid that is. If you're going to build a team around a ball player, you could pick 5 or 6 guys on this team, but that kid right there, that's somebody I want my daughter to marry.
2-2, swing and a miss. All right, here we go, Harry. Time for the Mazda 7th inning stretch.
Former Cubs pitcher Ryan Dempster. All right, Cub fans. Let me hear you loud. On 1, on 2, on 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. All right, let's get some runs.
Anthony Rizzo will lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th. Harry, nice job with the stretch.
I gotta admit, I was a little bit nervous.
No.
I haven't sung like that since late night karaoke. But what a phenomenal moment! These incredible fans, and so great to be here and do that. What an honor.
Tony Barnett still working for the Rangers. Pitch to Rizzo's hit a ton, but pulled foul. Harry, I want to ask you about Ryan Dempster's career. I referenced him earlier. A longtime Cub, 9 years here on the north side. Won a World Series ring with the Red Sox. Canadian-born. He had a pretty good major league career, didn't he?
You know what? He was serviceable. I look at what he did on the field, and he gave his all. You know what I liked about him? He did that. It meant a lot to him to be a good teammate. It meant a lot to him to give 100% when he was out there, even if he wasn't feeling 100%.
Right.
To do whatever the team needed him to do to try and help win a ball game, even though it didn't always turn out that way.
Rizzo fouls. Still 1-2. He started. He closed. What do you think he would have said he preferred to do? Did he like to be the first pitcher of the game or to get that final out?
I think he liked to be the first pitcher of the game and still get the final out.
There you go. And he completed 11 games. So he did that 11 times.
You know,
you're pretty sharp, Harry. I got to tell you, that's a good answer.
Thank you. You know, at the end of the day, I think the 4 days off from golf really played into his favor. I mean, Jim knows to be a starting pitcher, there's nothing like it. There's a lot of pressure on your 5th day. You better show up and post, but there's nothing like those 4 days off in between to light a hot foot on somebody in the dugout.
Bounce back to the pitcher. Barnett will make the play.
Yeah, or perhaps even just work on an impersonation or two in the dugout. Polish something up.
So much free time, the things that you could come up with and do as a starting pitcher. I always said they should all have some sort of babysitter. Every starting pitcher should have somebody that makes sure they're not getting themselves. You know, they say, oh, it's up to them. Well, are you kidding me? Those guys, who knows what they're doing in between innings up at that clubhouse.
Here's Contreras.
That's just fun to say. Contreras just sounds like a homer. I don't know why.
Swing and a miss.
Hey, chance to visit with Joe Madden. Have you gotten to know him a little bit?
You know what? I haven't, and I feel terrible. I showed up late today. I'm not going to lie. We had a little bit of a late night, early morning yesterday. But what a great job he's doing here. Getting the best out of all these players, not just the young ones, the veteran ones. Has a way with people. You know, you watch him, his interviews, it's genuine. That's not fake. You can't make that stuff up. You don't show up to the park and talk like that if you're not a real person. He's progressive. He's nice. He's forward thinking. You know, he's not worried about his T-shirts are incredible. I mean, look at this guy. It's every day. It's a fashion icon. This guy with his glasses. I got to admit, I kind of like those, and his hair is pretty special as well.
There's a 1-2. Little flinch by Laz Diaz. That looked like a part of the zone strike.
Laz was a little tight on Hendricks up in the zone. You see number 4 there, yeah. Quality pitch. Hang with him.
Contreras stays alive.
Yeah, I was thinking of that very thing, Harry, with Joe, with the hair and the glasses. So you guys have some similarities there.
Well, we go to the same barber and stylist. I found that out. I went this morning to get dolled up. Cheryl was taking care of me. She says, you know what? I see Joe. Sometimes he comes in here. I fix his hair up. I make sure his glasses are clean. You know, he's a lot more fit than I am. I got to say that.
Outside, 3-2. Ballpark has never looked better.
Oh, man, I tell you, for where this place, when I first started working here, to how it is now is something special. This Ricketts family is one incredible ownership group putting together something really special here.
Called strike 3. 2 outs. Any plans the rest of the day and into the evening hours here on a Friday?
You know,
you've always enjoyed the Friday matinee, right?
Always. I always thought it was one of the best things they ever did here at Wrigley Field. You know, we get to go have a nice dinner before everybody else has played their game. They're all waiting to play, and we're already done. So I'm going to just see what happens. I'm going to take it as a night of improv and adjustments and just have fun with it.
Tapper up along first is foul. There, look at this.
Oh, wow. Look at him. Right. What a handsome fellow that guy is. Joe Madden's pretty attractive as well.
There's an owl-like quality to both of you fine fellows.
Well, you know, when the wind starts blowing, it's tough to keep it tamed down. There's only so much mousse and hairspray a man can put on his head.
Just got a nice note from former Cub Glendon Rush. He and the Lake Elsinore Storm are watching today, and Harry, they wanted to say hello.
Oh, Lake Elsinore, they got Glendon Rush there, Xavier Nady. Somehow he got a job teaching about hitting. I don't know how that happened, but Good for him. So many guys out there. I'll tell you what, it's always great to see the players that were once young grow old and then give back to the younger guys of today's generation. And those guys are really old, I gotta say.
Russell takes.
You better not. That's right. Every once in a while, there'll be a first base umpire. He gets an itchy, trigger finger down there. It's tricky trigger finger. That's what that is. Wants to throw it up. Not at home, pal.
1-2. Hayward on deck. Fouled upstairs.
Speaking upstairs, it was nice to see Keith, the security guard, on my way up.
Yeah. Keith Schramm.
Beautiful gentleman. Been here a long time.
Game looks easier from up here, as you mentioned earlier, right?
Also farther away.
Yes. There's Keith, not texting. He's in the background there. Sir, could you move to your right just a little bit?
Just take one step over to your left, sir. I'll tell you what, though, guys, no matter what happens this year, this is a great group of young ball players compiled for the Chicago Cubs, and I'm excited about the future.
In the dirt.
A great rotation. You got tons of great arms. You got these ball players who play the game the right way. To be a Cub fan right now in 2016 has to be as good a time as ever to be a Chicago Cub fan.
Totally agree. And Russell strikes out. Harry, thanks for stopping by today. Great job with the stretch.
Well, thanks for having me, Len. Jim, thank you so much. This is incredible.
Harry, everybody.
Go Cubs!
Cubs lead 6-0. Tuesday night from Wrigley Field as they battle the New York Mets, and we'll have the first pitch for you at 6 on CSN Chicago. Rivalry has been rekindled for sure. Here's Travis Wood in the 8th. Cubs leading 6-0.
And one of the busier pitchers in the league in the first half, so you know he enjoyed that time off for the break. Start the second half with a 3-0 record, a 2.97 earned run average. Very valuable piece of the Cubs bullpen. Pedro Strop warming up down in the pen.
Switch hitting Jurickson Kofar takes a strike. That one missed. Profar started the season at AAA playing shortstop, missed the last 2 years with right shoulder problems. He muscles one out into shallow left for a base hit. Profar still just 23 years old. Made his major league debut at 19 back in 2012. Odor was 1 for 3, caught stealing in the third. Okay, nice work, Carl Edwards Jr. 1, 2, 3, 7. Hendricks went 6 shutout on just 3 hits. That's a strike. Jose Leclerc, a right-hander up in the Texas bullpen. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2. I think it might be drizzling a little bit. Nothing serious.
I thought I felt a little drop a while back.
Yep. And that is a strikeout. So Odor missed it completely. And out of the mid of Contreras. 1 away. Here's Desmond. Ball 1.
Yeah, missing down borderline down there. Travis Wood, part of his success this year, is on strike 1 a high percentage of the time.
Paid crowd today, 41,482.
Starting to rain with a little more intensity now.
Fouled back. Cubs grabbed the lead with a single tally in the second. Busted it open with 5 in the 6th.
Single, double, walk, single, and then a big error, throwing error on Prince Fielder. They batted around +1 in that inning.
Bryant in foul territory makes a catch, 2 outs. Zara. A strike. Down a little bit harder now. Outside for a ball. Clayton Richard back. So the Cubs with a couple of left-handers available in the bullpen these days. Rizzo can't get it. It's into right for a base hit. Now Beltre, and here comes Joe, and he'll probably ask for Pedro Strop. Call has been made. Cubs lead 6-0, 2 on, 2 down for the Rangers here in the 8th.
App. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
Weber sauces and seasonings called to the pen. Call grilling flavor up to the bigs. Here's Pedro Strop against Adrian Beltre. 2 on, 2 out, 8th inning. Cubs lead 6-0.
Coming out of the break, you're looking for opportunities to get guys work, get them back into the flow of the season. With this comfortable lead, no need to extend Travis Wood in this situation. Got a dangerous right-handed batter up here.
Gets away, runners will advance.
One area where Wilson Contreras needs to improve a little bit is blocking balls. Not that they wouldn't advance on that pitch anyway, but has a tendency to try to pick the ball with his glove, and it's tougher to control that ball that way as opposed to getting the glove out of the way and just knocking it down with the chest protector and keeping it in front.
To third, Bryant's got it on the backhand. The throw to first on a hop. Rizzo there, out. Inning over. The two All-Stars team up to get the Cubs out of the 8th. Boy, this could have been all kinds of trouble. It's still 6-0. Is presented by Benny's Beverage Depot, and we're going to give it to the Cubs defense. Some big plays here. Contreras with the caught stealing. Almora with the catch. Rizzo and Hendricks teaming up, and then Bryant and Rizzo. This play by Baez again. Benny's Beverage Depot, the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. 22-year-old Jose Leclerc. Swing and a miss. Jason Hayward.
Rookie right-hander. Giddy up on that heater. Has a real nice changeup.
Just his third major league appearance.
How big his hands are. Dwarfing that baseball.
He signed with Texas, the Dominican Republic, back in 2010. Just getting his major league career started. Mostly in the minors as a reliever. Did make 22 starts last year at Double-A. 2-1 the count.
Got a brother that was also signed by the Rangers back in 2010 and then selected by the Red Sox in the minor league phase of the Rule 5 draft this past offseason. Not a real big guy, 6 foot tall, $190.
Leadoff walk. Hefty home run leaders. Chris Bryant leading the team and the National League. There's Baez. Swing by Javi.
Things went south for Rangers starter Martin Perez in a hurry here today. Final line on him: 5 2/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks and a strikeout.
The 0-1 way inside. Former Ranger. Joe's trying to get all the guys with Texas Rangers ties into the game today. Justin Grimm up in the bullpen. Here's the 1-1. Line drive, base hit, center field. 2 on, nobody out. Second hit for Baez today. Two on, nobody out. And the pitch to Almora Jr. He is over for a strike. Everything else later tonight. We mentioned Red Sox and Yankees will battle in New York. The Pirates are in Washington. Liriano and Strasburg. Steven Strasburg goes into that start 12-0 on the year. Cardinals hosting the Miami Marlins. Wei-Yin Chen and Jaime Garcia. Old foul. Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. You see Steven Strasburg's fine first half. Beltre, not a great throw. They will still turn it, however. Odor with a nice late adjustment. 5-4-3.
Well, the throw off line, nice adjustment by Odor, and then he makes sure he stays on the base. And then a couple stutter steps to right himself and flip that ball onto first to just barely get Almora.
Tommy La Stella off the bench to pinch hit. He takes ball one outside.
Joe Madden's got a nice little right-left combo on his bench, doesn't he, with Caesar and La Stella? Give him a good AB in the pinch. One from the right side, one from the left.
Caesar knocked in two with his single in the sixth. Yeah, the quality of the at-bats for these two guys has been impressive, particularly considering how young they are. And sporadic playing time. 3-0. How you doing over there? You warm enough?
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cooled
not bad.
off. The fans in shorts and t-shirts, but coming off the lake.
We're in a big mister right now.
Yeah. He walked him. Second walk of the inning. It's been a problem here early on in the bigs for Leclerc.
So Steve Buechele there, flashing some signs. Former Cub. Buechele's son apparently is going to be the quarterback at the University of Texas this year.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Steve, when he played at his college ball at Stanford, was a roommate of John Elway's.
Steve was a Cub, part of 92, 93, 94, 95.
And in fact, Steve and I were teammates along with Joe Madden and Spike Owens, a little mini reunion here at that Boulder team, college summer league team in 1980. Joe was more or less a player coach. Buechele and Spike were on the infield. Zobrist, normally very patient, but he's also a very smart hitter, and I'd be surprised to see him turn it loose here if he gets a cookie here on 2-0. Nor would I be surprised to see him be taking all the way. Nothing he can do would surprise me.
Key to being a good analyst is to have a bailout plan. Missed again, 3-1. So
yeah, you got to
Leclerc
hedge
already
your
with
bets.
8 walks. Just over 5 innings at this level. Doesn't matter how good your stuff is, you are asking for trouble. 3-2. Bryant's on deck.
And for some guys, it's just a skill that they don't have, the ability to throw the ball where they want to, a high percentage of the time. For other guys, it's a matter of trust. Get to the big leagues and you just treat everybody like they're Babe Ruth.
Popped into shallow left. Rua is in and he makes the grab and we'll go to the 9th. All Cubs today 6-0.
Nothing. Justin Grimm, next man out of the chute. And he's working for the 41st time. No wins, no losses. A .534 earned run average. He got off to a very nice start, then hit a little bit of a bump in the road. A little better of late. 5 scoreless outings to finish the first half. Obviously a very important piece of the Cubs bullpen. So Joe Madden hoping that Grimm is able to continue that most recent trend. Most alarming there when you look at the splits, the batting average by left-handed hitters against Grimm. He's been one of those righties that prior to this year has been very good at shutting down left-handed hitters.
Fielder will start it. Ball 1. Starters, the pitchers of record if the score holds up. Kyle Hendricks would grab his 8th win. That's 6 losses. Perez came in 7-5.
Justin, a 5th round pick of the Rangers in 2010. As this parade of former Rangers continues.
1-2. 27 years old. Carl Edwards Jr., Mike Olt, Justin Grimm for Matt Garza.
July of 2013, and then Neil Ramirez came along as a player to be named later. And Neil has resurfaced with the Twins now. His odyssey continues.
Yeah, he's been a Cub, a Brewer, and now a Twin in 2016. Pitch lifted to left. Zobrist, foul ground, and came up a little short.
He was there, influenced likely by the bullpen mounds.
And the phone is also over there up along that sidewall. A lot of treacherous objects to try to navigate. Mark DeRosa, when he came back here to Wrigley Field with Cleveland over in right field, ran right into that phone once.
I thought you were implying that the phone was ringing, perhaps, and he was distracted.
No.
What, do I catch it or do I answer the phone?
Talking about maybe ribs being bruised. How about that play by Baez? Knew he had time with fielder running. That'll go 4-1. More excellent defense.
Anthony Rizzo gets a little piece of this one, changes direction, slows it down, but even with that, and with the fielder going down the line, it's the second time today that play has developed. Like the earlier one, there wasn't a deflection, but it was a slow ground ball that Baez had to travel a long way for.
One away. Here's Rua. A stellar defense by the Cubs all afternoon. That's a strike. 0-2. Cubs have now used 5 pitchers today. One and two. 3 of them used to be in the Rangers organization. I should say 4 of them. Pedro Strop spent some time in the Rangers chain as well. This will be out number 2. Hayward's got it.
Some folks have tucked back up underneath to take cover. Others hanging in there, willing to get wet to finally see the 27th out here.
Here's Andrews. Strop made his major league debut as a Ranger in 2009. Look out. Curve got away.
Plenty of firepower in this Rangers lineup, but they've been quiet today.
Spencer Patton's probably sitting in the bullpen going, I don't get in there today. I pitched for Texas last year. Two 0 from Grimm. Popped him up. Not sure if there's room. There is not for Contreras. Darvish and Hamill tomorrow. Hamels and Lackey on Sunday. Driven to center. Almora racing after it. He's got it. Cubs win. Nice capper.
Fitting way for this ball game to end. Another outstanding defensive play. That's not an easy chance at all. That line drive over the center fielder's head. Good break on it by Almora. And then great concentration, staying with it, putting it away for the final out. What a great way to start the second half. Hendricks outstanding here today. One big inning. Addison Russell had a big day. And a nice W.
So they bookend the break with wins on Sunday in Pittsburgh to snap a 5-game losing streak, and they hold serve today, and will wake up tomorrow with at least a 7-game lead in the division. So make sure you join us Tuesday night at 6 o'clock here on CSN for Game 2 as the Cubs host the New York Mets. We've got more to come. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs postgame live coming up. Once again, final score today, the Cubs 6 and the Rangers nothing. Stay tuned. More to come here on CSN.